You awaken, Malvadrian, from your sleep. The last few weeks of travel across the Fahrenheim countryland has been relatively uneventful, but that was before the cold. The region that the dwarves of Illios call home, Targenstal, is mountainous, treacherous, and it only gets worse as you travel on. Not to mention a lot colder. As you rise from your slumber, the mountains that you expected to lay your eyes upon were gone, replaced instead by scintillating prismatic lights that nearly blind you as you stand, weary. As your vision focuses and the lights fade away, you see where you truly are. A room fit for royalty, but strangely empty except for the golden banners that adorn the walls. No windows are present, but a soft light shines on the middle of the room, where two young children sit, a girl and a boy, playing together with various toys and trinkets. Both are grinning ear to ear, their silver white hair reflecting the shining light as they play. However, while the light blue eyes of the girl shine with excitement, the top half of the boy's face is obscured in shadow and hidden from view. Then, with a sudden crash, a door opens up behind you, and a man bedecked in gleaming full plate barges into the room, walking towards the girl quickly. A voice behind you screams, "Please, they're only children! You can't do this! His Highness can't be serious about this!" The man, his face also obscured by shadow, says gruffly, "You know why this has to be done. It's for their own good." Roughly, he grabs the wrist of the girl as she wails and tries to fight him as he begins to drag her away from the boy. Tears fall down her face as she screams out a name that cannot be heard, the boy wailing as she is taken. "No! Let me go!" As this happens, her eyes begin to glow white, and a crackling golden energy begins to surround her, and she screams, "Let me go!" A blinding golden light explodes forth, enveloping the room, and you awaken, Malvadrian, gasping for breath, as the alien, cold mountain air enters your lungs once more.
And when I wake up, is it daylight outside, or is it still kind of dawn cracking, or what's kind of going on?
It is the early morning as you awake. Maybe about 8 in the morning.
Okay. Kind of in like cold sweats from this dream. He goes to put on his brown overcoat, kind of, cracking his neck and kind of bringing his coat over his body. And he kind of thinks back to the dream, thinks back to the golden energy that seems quite similar, seems quite familiar to him. I don't know if there's like a way that he like sends like a telekinetic, not telekinetic, but like whatever to deep within himself to see, if Minty is also awake. But he feels like this is kind of similar. So he just kind of like prods to see if she's awake or if she's dormant.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, Mal.
He kind of, without saying any physical words, just kind of within his mind, he says, that dream seemed different. You want to talk about it?
I feel like it was a memory of mine. The girl, I think that
she
was
looked
me.
Like you.
Yes. But who I was playing with, the other voices, I don't I have no idea who they were. I still don't, but I feel like I should. And it's...
What about the man in full plate?
No. Not him either, but when I heard his voice, I felt afraid. I don't know, Mal. I've had amnesia for the longest time. Now, suddenly things are coming back. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it was a few hundred years ago, so he's probably dead by now, if that's any consolation to you.
Yeah, but why now? What was the trigger? What's the importance? What?
And with that, he kind of like opens up and stands into the cold, whipping wind. Maybe it's just the weather. It gets to people. Maybe we're onto something.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
And as you open the tent, you see a familiar face tending a small fire with some breakfast cooking on a small iron pot. And Dolgrim looks up at you. You okay? It's, I heard a lot of movement in there. Sleep all right?
Yeah, Navadrian kind of waddles more like his way over in the cold, and he kind of sits down next to Dolgrim, next to the fire. It's hard to sleep in the cold. Just not used to it yet.
Yeah, you'll only get used to it. Isn't that right, Illios?
And as you call out to Illigith, suddenly it's as if there's a commotion within his tent, and you hear an oof, and the tent collapses on his head. Oh, it would seem that I need help.
Adrian kind of like motions to Dolgrim that, just stay where you're at. I got it. He kind of sighs as he gets up with his hands, his armpits, kind of waddles his way over in the snow and kind of, I don't think they make these for people your size. He kind of pulls it up, kind of off you.
Thank you, my friend. Perhaps one day we will come across someone who can help us make larger tent.
If that's true, that'd be the least of our.
By my count,
I suppose you are right.
By my count, you're 0 for 23. Keep trying. Someone gonna wake that idiot up? I mean,
kind of lets the silence kind of stagnate for a second. You really want him up?
I would allow the poor boy to rest.
All right, fine with me. Screws up our mornings anyway. And Dolgrim would begin, passing out bowls and whatnot, and begin ladling the stew. Dolgrim isn't the best cook.
Yes, my friend. I am so grateful for this breakfast you have cooked for us.
Hey, no problem. I do my best. It's pretty good, isn't it? He starts drinking it.
Now Adrian kind of gets a spoon and like kind of turns it over into the bowl and watches it like plop. He just grunts.
Illigith is devouring.
Right. And
each day it seems like it gets even more better.
Yeah, nothing quite like the aftertaste. Yeah, it's just perfect. You know,
Don't you think so, Mel? He is good cook.
I'm gonna chalk it up to like a spice difference maybe in the way that they cook. But Malvadrian is just miserable eating this food. Gruel and his something about this being wet, cold, eating this mediocre food at best. He just kind of nods and grunts again.
I can
It-
tell this
It
meal
warms
is
you at
lifting
the
your
very least.
spirits.
You could say that.
and look, Dahlgrim kind of looking between y'all two. Laughs very loudly, and he said, "You don't have to put up an act. I know I'm a shitty cook."
And Illios kind of like with this
Mm.
look of like indignancy on his face, like he was being genuine, but he's not sure what to say.
And you hear, "We're up already?"
Ah, yes, Raymond, my boy, come get your breakfast, please, before it gets cold, or perhaps
Oh.
before the wolves are attracted.
Oh, not again. I'd rather not that happen. All right, I'm coming. And kind of like quickly gets up from his tent as he's going out. His foot gets caught in like the bottom of it, and he like hops on one leg, tries to get it free, kind of stutters forward a bit. Like, oh, good, there we go. Oh, it was your turn for breakfast this morning, Dahlgrim. Yeah, you got anything to say about it? Oh no, it's fine, it's fine. And he sits down, and it begins getting some of it. Yeah, it's delectable in its own special way. Isn't that right? Oh, wait. He puts the ladle down. Like, I must pray. Thank you.
And while Raymond and Dahlgrim are doing this awkward breakfast exchange, Illios kind of, scoots a little closer to Mal. Tell me, friend.
Thump.
Yeah. Did you sleep well last night? I know it has been rather cold.
And he kind of looks to, still kind of like looking at his food. He kind of stops and kind of thinks for a second and then looks to you. Well, to be perfectly honest, I've been having these weird dreams. Kind of keeping me up. Plus, it's cold. I'm not used to the cold. But I'm okay. I'm all right.
Know that I am, of course, here for you, and you can tell me anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just kind of weird. I had this dream that was supposedly about Minty, her past. She's had this amnesia for, as long as I've known her. And there was this guy in full plate. And he took her somewhere. I don't know. When she put up a fight and there was an exchange and there was a little boy there too, and it just didn't make any sense. I don't know if this relates at all to something that's been going on or it's just random. But I don't know. From what we've been through, I don't nearly believe in coincidence anymore.
This is
That's got a bad feeling.
The timing of this dream surely is of some consequence. We will be vigilant as we move forward.
Maybe the answers lie in Tarkenstall, or maybe it was just a random recollection. But anyway, other than that, other than the cold,
Perhaps
other than
your
Raven's
gesture.
company, other than Dalton's cooking, yeah, I'm fine. Totally fine. Oh, and then Yoki's got to, so there's that. Totally.
Yes, it has been quite the journey without our small friend, but
Yeah. I wonder what he's up to right now. Probably eating snoo. That fat bastard. I miss him. Especially as he looks down to this slop. Well, you know. He did make good snoo.
and as you kind of like look at Iliath, he's like totally like zoned out after you brought up Gnocchi, kind of like staring into the fire. Yes, I miss our friend.
Yeah. But he's doing good work, I suppose.
And
Just wish he was here.
surely we will find more friends.
He kind of looks at you questioningly. Oh, and he looks at Raymond. You want more friends?
Well, perhaps I misspoke.
Only time will tell, I suppose. But we're definitely going to need more allies to face what's on the horizon. Time will tell. As we both stare into the fire, seeing potatoes shaped gnomes.
Yeah, and as y'all kind of look over, you know, the usual. Raymond's got a few head injuries from Dahlgren's fist. You know, the usual every morning. Raymond always seems to bounce back though, and Raymond is slogging through the slog, just kind of wolfing it up.
Brilliant verbiage.
And Dahlgren just like eyeing him, making sure he eats every last bit of it. And he says, Dahlgren kind of looking at y'all. Well, thankfully, we're not that far. Only about 3 days travel. But the next 3 days are the worst, by far. You think you've seen cold, Mount Vader, and you ain't seen nothing. Do we go up the mountain?
Perhaps we should not focus on the journey ahead, but instead the destination. Tell us, Dolgren, what lies ahead in Targenstal? I have never visited before in my life.
When you ask that question, Dahlgren just kind of looks into the fire for a second, and you can sense a bit of uneasiness from him, and he responds after about 5 or 10 seconds. Says, honestly, the city's beautiful. Most beautiful work of craftsmanship I've ever seen in my life. I can only say that because Officer Gnocchi isn't around. The citadel carved inside the mountain, atop the mountain. The walls have never been breached. There are a lot of friends there. But if I'm being honest, you know I didn't leave on the best of terms. It's going to be hard convincing them to let us into the city.
So, Dahlgren.
Yeah.
What exactly did you do?
I left. I left my kin behind when Commander Klein came calling, knocking for aid. Celestial threat. I saw the bigger picture. That if this threat continued, they would probably envelop Targenstal and Maringol as well. My kin didn't exactly see it that way. Dwarves are stubborn, as you know, set in their ways. They don't like change. They've never gotten help, and they've never wanted it. And they certainly don't want to offer their assistance. But we're going to have to try nonetheless, because I can't see any better ally than having those dwarves by our side.
Not even dwarven politics can overcome the grace of Ilmater. Surely we will find allies there.
Again, he kind of takes it to respond, and looks up and kind of smiles. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
No, I suppose we do not.
Well, if there's anything, I've seen y'all two work miracles before. Time and time again. So I'll be betting on our side.
Well, if all these dwarves are as friendly as you, we might have a chance.
Ha! Not a chance. And he gets up.
Yeah. I thought so.
All right,
he kind of like gets to
asses.
his feet.
Oh, sorry.
Remember, Malvadrian, they only come up to about right here as he kind of waves towards his hips.
You know, I think... never mind.
Seriously, don't say anything about their height. You'll just get... Seriously, your head will be on a spike. Just don't say it. Just don't mention it.
But it is true.
It might be true. But no.
Clearly, Illigith wasn't trying to tell a joke, but...
All right, lazy asses. And Dorgan would kind of slap Raymond on the back. And he's like... Oh. Mm-hmm. Whew. Okay, time to go, I guess. Oh, it's cold out here.
Yes. Raymond, remember to cover up the ashes very well. We must make sure to seem as if we were not ever here.
All right, I guess I'll try my best.
Raymond, I will tell you this only once more.
Mm-hmm.
You shall do or do not at all.
Uh-huh.
You will not try.
Okay. Oh, that was the lesson? Okay.
My gods.
He gets up.
Now endeth the lesson.
All right, so yeah, he pretty much just kicks some snow on the fire.
Mater, help me. As
that's what he
Illigith
does.
kind of comes over, like, grabs a massive armful of snow and plops it on on the remains.
I was getting there.
Hopefully getting Raymond along with it.
At least his shoes.
Yeah. All right. And after this, routine. Y'all pack up y'all's tents, get ready. Takes you like maybe 10, 15 minutes at most. Put out the fire, and y'all are on y'all's way up the path. Oh, Illigith, the further and further you travel northwards, the more and more you're reminded of home. The conditions are definitely not as extreme as where you're from, but the clean, cool mountain air, the landscape around you, and honestly, the uncertainty and the dangers that surround you are all too familiar, and you're used to it, even after all this time being away from it. Mal, not so much. This is definitely much different than what you're used to. You did live in a mountainous area, but never one so cold and sparse and barren. And as you'll move forward up the path, after about a half a day's journey, y'all are about to reach the base of the mountain, just over one more hill. And Dolgrim, who's leading, because he knows the way. Come on, after we get up over this hill, it'll be the mountain to climb. And that'll be the hardest part yet. And Dolgrim goes on talking about the different hazards that y'all will run into as y'all are running up the mountain, the landslides, frost giants, dire wolves, all of these other things, being able to stay as warm as possible. But Illigith, you kind of tune out. Partly because you know all of this already. But the other part is because you sense something. Something off. You feel a presence that you felt before. You feel the malice, the evil inherent in the celestial magics. Just over the hill. It's very faint, but you feel it.
Dolgrim.
You kind of interrupt him as he's going on a spiel. He's like, yeah, what? What's up?
Is there anything in particular that lies beyond this hill, at the foot of the mountain?
Not anything too particular. Just a bunch of rocks, a hill. Sorry, not the hill, an incline. Other than that, not much. Why?
I have this strange feeling. Something is amiss.
I think Dolgrim's been around you, for long enough to know that when you get these kind of feelings, they really genuinely do mean something. And Dolgrim's face gets serious. What kind of problem?
That I cannot say for certain.
Well, you want me to go scout it out, or we can sneak on up ahead, see what lies in our wait?
I think this would be best. We will continue to the top of hill, but we will stop there and wait your return.
All right. We initiate that plan at DM.
All right, Mel, go and roll me a stealth check.
Do I have some type of stealth? There's no magic items in the paint. I forgot. You paid us all.
Ha ha ha. Not here.
That was a 19. Plus a lot, so I am silent like wind.
All right, pretty good. So you go across the hill, or come up around the hill, and you're looking around. You're kind of maybe darting from rock to rock, maybe a couple shrubs that you see. The place is very barren, and you see exactly what Dolgrim said you would see. Like a decline or kind of an incline as the mountains just kind of almost, spring up from the ground and begin moving upward. But you see in the distance flashes of light. These small flashes of light.
So are they like light horizontal, like coming like that, or is it like vertical going into the sky, or is it just like pockets of light, kind of like going on and off type of a thing?
There are pockets of light going on and off, and and they stop for a moment, and suddenly this huge fiery ball of light explodes in front of you, and from the fireball, as the smoke lessens, and from the smoke screen, who emerges?
From the smoke emerges a man about 6 foot tall, pictured here. Whitish gray hair and short, slightly longer than stubble of a beard and mustache. He's breathing hard, like he's been running from something. There's an arrow of light sticking out of his chest.
And as you run forward, as this figure runs forward from the smoke, he quickly turns around, and you see Mal as two Imperial Seekers in their gear appear and slash down at him. He parries one of the blows, gets struck on the shoulder a little bit, but he manages to fight them off. And he's currently trying to fight while running from these Seekers.
Okay, so from this blast, was I not blast, but kind of explosion of light? Was I kind of like pushed back or like recoiled back at all, or am I still like within like what's my distance between me and this mysterious figure with white hair?
The distance between you right now is probably about 45 or 50 feet.
And then what's my distance between me and the rest of the party?
They are down the hill. Illios and the party are probably about 60 feet away from you.
Are they within visual distance? Like I could just cue them, or am I like around a bend or something?
You had gone up the hill, and kind of.
So am I like the top of the hill, kind of like looking over?
Yeah. You're like at the top of the hill. Illigith, Dolgrim, Raymond are kind of like, further down. You're on like the peak of the hill, and you could make visual.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to, at the top of the hill, kind of turn around, look directly at Illigith, and like point to him and like, throw up, like, follow me, as I hopefully like we instantly like, same brain wave, and we're like, go into hero phase, run. And as soon as Mal kind of like, signals to like go over the hill, he's going to run, kind of like jumping over the edge of the hill. And if it's steep enough, kind of, I don't know, not like glide, but you know what I mean? Like kind of go his way down, or if he has to run. But it's just basically kind of this sudden, like he's like jumped down the hill type of a thing, if that makes sense.
Oh no, it completely makes sense. I see Mal sliding down the hill.
I kind of described it.
Yeah, and you go down, and Mal, while you're doing this, what's your passive perception?
Oh Jesus, I didn't have this prepared. So I'm gonna just say 13. But 1 second while I check. Yeah, 14 actually.
14. All right.
Yeah, 1-4.
And so as Mal, as you've kind of signaled, and you're sliding down the hill, approaching these guys from the smoke around them, you can see he's fighting these two off, but you see kind of a disturbance in the snow. You see footsteps slowly making their way towards this figure's back, and you see a slight glint in the air. You notice an invisible figure, not fully visible, but you can tell that he's sneaking up on him.
What's my distance between me and this invisible figure?
Distance now, after you've slid, probably about 25 feet. They have not seemed to notice you yet.
Okay. So what I would do after my combat slide would probably be like run over to him, like kind of like mid run, and that's kind of like when I kind of see him, this little invisible figure. Was there more than one, or was there only the one that I've seen so far?
Yeah, so there are two seekers engaging this wounded man with the arrow of light through his chest, and there's one invisible trying to sneak up on him. Presumably get him while he's distracted.
Gotcha. So kind of how I see it is Malvadrian would kind of get his crossbow from his hip, from his holster, and he would kind of throw like as big a snowball as he could from the ground, kind of like running up and grabbing a little shovel full of snow and just kind of tossing it on this invisible figure to kind of hopefully, land on its clothing and kind of distinguish it. And then he would shoot, kind of like mid-run at one of the assailants, trying to kind of buy that guy some time.
I'm sorry, you picking up the snow and throwing it count as your action.
Okay.
Said the lamest DM ever. Make your attack roll.
Retweet.
So technically how you could do it is I have 3 attacks, so, it could count as one of my attacks. DM. It'd be offhand throw snowball. 19.
Hits.
Yeah. Snowball. So are we like rolling damage, or is this like,
I mean, you're rolling to hit. This is essentially a surprise.
Okay. I didn't know if this is okay. So we do need our dice. Okay.
Wesley.
It's 24 and 21. So. All right. So that would be kind of shooting. I don't know how you want me to do the snowball. If that's like my bonus action or something.
It doesn't take up any action, Wesley.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna shoot 3 times at the dude who's, I don't know, on the guy's right. Doing a total of 24 damage, kind of running towards them. Like he wants to get as close to them as possible, kind of running towards them. If that makes sense. So like he's gonna go his full move distance towards the figure.
All right, no, you're fine.
Kind of. Okay. So how far am I from like the action?
So from now, after shooting them and running up, you are in the thick of it.
Okay.
All right, and could you tell me again how much damage you did to that guy? To the guy on the right?
25.
25.
Yeah, 25.
All right. Illios, Dolgrim, Raymond. How does Illios react?
So Illios was watching intently to his ally, and at his signal, Illios, of course, takes off. They know the signals that they have planned for what means what, and Ilgith's understanding of at least remotely of what is occurring over on the other side of the hill. And at this, he says, Raymond, stay back and protect the gear. Dolgrim, you're with me. As he foots it up the hill.
Dolgrim immediately takes out his heavy crossbow. Got it, and runs with you, running right behind you, and stopping a little bit to prepare his heavy crossbow. Raymond's like, "Wait, what's happening?" And you are running. You're running over the hill, Illigith. I'm going to say that you are about 30 feet away as this surprise round ends, and I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
As it should be. Actually, do I have a 12? No, okay.
Oh, that's what you meant by as it should be. All right, so I'm going to put the initiative in right here.
As it should be.
Oh,
Like
let me roll for Dolgrim. Oh,
I was gonna say just put him next.
all right, Mal, you're up. You're in the thick of it.
So kind of as...
Just to let you know, the invisible. Oh, I'm sorry. Have you attacked the invisible guy yet, or just the snow?
I just snowballed him.
Gotcha. Okay, his invisibility is still up, but you can see his form because of the snow.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you. So what I'd like to do is, so just could you describe how far away the invisible guy is, and that's basically all I need to know.
You're basically in the thick of it. You can hit whoever you want.
Okay, so he's like within 5 feet of me, is basically okay.
Yeah.
So kind of how I see it, kind of like as he was kind of like running towards the guy who he shot 3 times. He kind of, I kind of see it as kind of like a, those little, I think they're called butterfly knives. They're also called gravity blades, where you can just kind of flick them, and they kind of will flick back into like their little, like a Swiss Army knife, kind of will like go back into its little, whatever that part is that's like the handle. I kind of see that little flipping action as he kind of holsters his crossbow, but all the mechanical parts kind of go with it. And with his left hand, he kind of got the snow and threw it right as he kind of got around. And then right as maybe like the figure like kind of like looked at him in surprise is when he brings out his celestial blade with his bonus action, and will slice him twice across his chest.
Do your worst.
15?
Don't forget favorite enemy.
That's only for damage, I'm pretty sure.
Just making sure.
And then like a 26 or something. So
yeah, so the 15 does not hit, but the 26 does.
Okay. Let me... Oh, and by the way, I cast it as a... Sorry, I'm trying to find that what like a 3rd level spell, so it's like 3d8, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so let me clear this. Sorry, a lot of dice. A little roller thing. And that'll do 20 damage on the... As he kind of parries one blow, that I kind of use his surprise to kind of get around his defenses and kind of stick him in the side. And then it begins. Ching, 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 ching.
All right, yeah. And let's see. Oh, okay. So yeah, you go and strike at him. He's able to dodge out of the way. And as you bring it, he tries to parry it, like you said. Goes right through. You can see as you slash across like a searing wound from your blade, but as soon as you see it, it begins to close again, and the invisibility has not ended. he has managed to maintain his concentration on the spell. All right. Is that the end of your turn, Mal?
Yeah.
All right. And so it's right now that both seekers that you have hit notice that you've come seemingly out of nowhere into the battle and done quite a number on. The invisible one is going to immediately try and retaliate against you. All right.
AC is an 18.
18. All right, so yeah, 16 doesn't hit you. All right, but that one will, because that one is a 19.
I'm gonna cast Shield. So that'll make my AC a 23.
Fucker.
Yeah, he definitely is not able to hit.
So kind of how I see. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so just to let you know before this description, you can't see what kind of weapon he's wielding because it's invisible. But just from the first strike and you parrying it, it does seem to be some sort of long blade.
Yeah, so kind of how I see this thing going down is, I go and we kind of like lock blades the first time after I didn't hit him, and then I hit him again a different speed and kind of caught him off guard. And then just kind of looking at the little spectral, trails of the snow, I anticipate the first blow and kind of, grab it. But then I see like a sudden shift in the blade as it kind of like a feint, kind of going, towards like my abdomen or something. And I see my eyes kind of like flash that little flicker of that gold little fairy dust kind of poof as this kind of shield with Minty's symbol on it kind of like appears right before like my body, kind of almost like a breastplate with her little, the symbol on it, as it kind of like, I can feel like the recoil of the blade, almost like a ringing of metal as it kind of hits and bounces away. And yeah, that's the end of the description.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But I would just like to say also, you hear that same sound of a metal bouncing off as the second seeker attempts to hit you. His first blow, he had been trying to go for the figure, but the figure managed to duck the blow easily. And the third seeker is going to continue attacking the figure. What's your AC, Ryan?
16.
16? All right, so he hits you with that one.
And can you text me back when you get a chance?
Yeah, let me.
When you're done with this?
Yeah, go for it. That's my answer, Ryan, to your text.
Good.
All right, so you're gonna get hit by the first one.
Okay.
All right, let me see. All right. All right, you're gonna take 10 piercing damage from this as he manages to get one in on you. With this kind of blade, these seekers, they aren't no joke, and you're real weak right now from that wound. All right, they have not. It seems as if the seekers have not noticed Illios quite yet. And speaking of the figure, it is now your turn. You have just been stabbed.
One second. All right. So, what's he gonna do? After being stabbed, he pushes the guy back away from him, and he takes a step back to catch a breath himself, and he holds his hand over this wound, and from almost from this wound itself comes this radiant light as this barrier of radiance surrounds him. I cast Armor of Agathis on myself.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's going to be at 4th level. Then, right after that, he looks back up at the guy ready to go, and 2 short swords, one in each hand, begins to form. And he goes in to strike. Next turn.
All right. Dolgrim. Dolgrim from atop the hill. He's behind you, Illigus, but not quite as fast because of his stubby dwarven legs. He takes a little bit to position the shot and is going to shoot one arrow at the Seeker to Mal's right and crit. Freaking Dolgrim. All right. All right. So on that Seeker, you essentially, Mal, on the Seeker to your left, that kind of ended his turn by attacking you. You see a crossbow bolt just stick out of his neck, and you can see blood spewing forth, and the guy kind of silently puts his hand to the wound and pulls out the crossbow bolt. But he has been hurt very badly. The second shot goes wide. Illigith, you're up.
I'm gonna need a scene explanation.
So the way I envision it, basically imagine the figure in Mal.
The environment, Molly.
Oh, the environment. Gotcha. All right. So yeah, the environment here. As you're moving up, essentially the ground is covered in slosh. There are myriad boulders and rock kind of jutting from the ground. Some random shrubs, and just say to the right. To the right of the action, there's a particularly large rock, kind of a slanted over, not unstable, but just kind of slanted over.
Okay. Now the enemies. I recall 2 Seekers and an invisible guy that is no longer invisible.
He is invisible.
He made an attack on Mal.
Oh, you are correct. The invisibility would have ended after the attack. Yes, he is not invisible anymore, and the gash from Mal's weapon is easily visible.
Okay, so I see almost this back-to-back mysterious figure in Malvadrian standoff between 2 Seekers and an invisible guy that's no longer invisible.
It is a third Seeker.
Like a Seeker. Okay, I just want to make sure.
The Seeker-looking Seeker who was once invisible but is no longer invisible.
That's right. I just for clarification. So Illigith, so the distance from, are they making they're what, halfway up the hill? How is the hill small? I've rounded the top of the hill.
You've rounded the top of the hill. They're basically near the base of the hill, and you're coming down.
Yes, I sure am. Because with this scene, I would like to. So Illigith tops the hill and immediately sees Malvadrian allied with this figure based on their stance. And of course, the telltale robes that such seekers wear. Aha. So, in seeing this, Illigith, from some wellspring inside of him that he knows not of, becomes rather enraged at this sight. And he takes off. As soon as he rounds the hill, he begins to charge. And once he becomes within an adequate distance, he's going to leap. And as he does so, he leaps with his shield in both of his hands, coming down on the two seekers who would dare threaten his ally.
After they've pissed their pants, what happens?
After that, then they hear Illigith, "Ah, smash!" And if he is not able to hit them, his goal is to just absolutely drench them in whatever slosh, snow, dirt, anything possible that can kind of like create this crater in the ground and push them backwards or make them jump backwards.
So yeah, you can definitely hit the one that used to be invisible because you were 30 feet away when the round ended last time.
All right, I'm gonna use inspiration. Does an 18 hit?
Yes, it does.
Praise the Lord for inspiration. That'll be 14 points of bulwark damage.
All right, 14 points of damage as you come down. So yeah, he's not expecting you at all. The first because he's in combat. The first time he noticed you is when you were screaming as you come down, and you see his face. His face is covered by this golden mask, as all seekers are. But you bring it down and smash him to the ground, and he crumbles. Not literally, he's just on the ground, presumably out of commission.
All right, was I able to do any kind of environmental effect?
Yeah. So, as you're doing that, I'm gonna say basically, let's say in like a 15. Yeah, everyone's dead. In a 15-foot cone, yeah, like in front of you, just like this snow has just been, it's like sloshed in front of them. After the boom, or after you brought the boom. That's right, fear him. All right, Mal, you have been slightly covered by snow. What would you like to do?
And there's a roaring paladin at your side.
Yeah. So I love this scene before me. So how I kind of saw it was Malvadrian was kind of caught between fighting these two to buy this strange individual time, and so he was kind of like dancing between two blades as he was defending this guy, and he had almost been hit, and so he was about to go on the defensive and be kind of forced to stay on the defensive when this huge figure from the sky, he just kind of sees out of the corner of his eye, and right as he like turns, this dramatic impact and boom, and this other guy goes flying to the ground, and he kind of just looks at Illigith like kind of like in slow motion in my head, as he just kind of smiles and smirks as he kind of turns his back and lays this like strikes against this poor individual to his right, and that would be 20 unnatural, 19 and a 28.
All right. Just to ask, sorry to be lame, but where did the third attack come from?
My bonus action.
Oh, you saw
It's
the
within
crossbow.
one hand, so it's technically no. It's my light blade, so it's in one hand, and it has the light property, so I can boom, boom, and then it counts as my bonus action because it's light and I can hand.
Okay, I'll roll with it.
Okay, I mean we can talk about it after, but I thought that's how it worked.
Yeah, you're good. All right. Yeah, they all three hit.
I mean, like, okay,
They're good. Keep rolling.
kind of lame, but like I don't know.
Go! Describe! Murderize him!
Yeah, no, so that's a lot of damage. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna take away the last 3.
No, no.
That's
Do it all.
ridiculous. Okay.
You have been
Even with-
bolstered by your allies.
Even with the it's 50 points of damage with the 2 3d8s.
Woo! Sucker!
Yeah, so go ahead and tell me how you kill that guy.
So, how I kind of see it is, so this guy had just thrown his last attack at me, correct?
Yes, and then y'all both got sloshed by snow.
And then he got a crossbow bolt to the neck, or is that not this guy?
Yes, it is that guy.
Okay. Kind of utilizing both of these distractions, that kind of being thrown off balance, and then that even more being thrown off balance for that massive like jolt that Malvadrian instinctively knew to kind of compensate for. During that kind of like, as he kind of like falls back, losing his balance, Malvadrian kind of using like the power of his back foot kind of launches at the guy, and he points the blade so that it goes right at the heart. If he was wearing, I don't know if Seekers have like actual plate armor, but if there was some type of plate, kind of going in between the plate at just the right angle or whatever it was, to pierce this guy's heart, and kind of looking him dead in the eye with this calm fury. So his facial expression is calm, but his eyes are wide and kind of engorged in this yellow, fierce light as he kind of looks this guy in the eyes as his life kind of fades away. Do I see anything back in his eyes?
You do not, because he has a mask on.
Damn it! You bastard!
No,
Yeah.
that's Dalton.
Got him!
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Oh,
you
yeah,
did,
Dalton,
man, you did.
Dalton's like, "Hey, Mal, how's it going?" No, I'm boots away.
That'd be the biggest troll.
Oh yeah, it would.
No, that's even better. As he kind of, blood kind of drips down, and I kind of kick my foot between him and the blade, and I look to the guy to the one guy remaining.
Right, and it is the one guy remaining's turn. Seeing that his allies have fallen, and you are all upon you, what he does is he throws his blade into the ground, and it seems as if his hands glow with this radiant but just malevolent energy around him, and you can see that in his hand the air is beginning to shake around him, and he aims his hand at the ground, and everyone is blinded by a flash of golden light. I would like everyone to make dexterity saving throws.
As Illigith raises his shield to add that shield master bonus. With a natural 1.
Hey Logan.
What's up?
Hey Logan. Do
Wait,
we get any bonuses from
yeah,
your
plus
badass
3.
paladiness?
Plus 3
Okay.
but plus 3
Okay.
doesn't help on
And
that
our
one.
modifier is a plus 4 for proficiency, or is it a different?
It's a +4.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should have a +7 on top of your dex bonus.
Okay. Okay. So that's a 15 by the grace of Illigeth.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah,
is that
yes.
13 including Illigus bonus, Ryan?
Yeah.
All right.
Murder me.
So
I rolled a 3, so
Dover's not blinded.
the damage that y'all are going to take.
Oh, there's damage involved. What?
take damage.
All right. So all those who have failed will take 26 fire damage.
Oh, I
Or
thought it
sorry-
was color spray.
Sorry, not fire damage.
So which
fire
ones failed? Did we all fail?
Fairy
Or-
fire?
No, Wesley, you succeeded with the 15.
Okay.
So
Okay.
all who succeeded take half. If you fail, you take 26
I
fire
got
damage.
you, bro. And for all of you haters out there like my DM, I'm gonna shrug it off. I'm gonna shrug it off with my D12. So screw you, Molly.
That can mean so many things.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm
Anyone?
gonna negate. You had 26. I'm gonna negate 8 plus my con mod, so 11 of that. So I'm gonna take 15.
Hey, Molly,
Uh-huh.
does that hit my armor when I get this?
Yes.
I can look it up real quick if you don't know. I think I pulled it up.
I believe it's only melee attacks. We'll go with it for right now. He's basically right in front of you as this is being let off.
It hits my temp HP, but he doesn't take damage because it's not melee.
Gotcha.
Alright. So I survive.
All right. And this seeker, as you can see, as the explosion kind of fades, you can see that he himself has been singed by this blast. He's still up, and in that second, he disappears and appears 30 feet away and begins to run up the hill that y'all had just come down. And mysterious figure, it is your turn.
Alright. You said he's 30 feet away?
He teleported 30 feet. I would say that once he teleported, he was 20 feet away, and then he moved another 30 for his move action.
So he's 50 away?
Yes.
Alright, I'm going to bonus action dash after him with my short swords in hand and slice at his back. One's going to be a 23, and the other one's going to be an 18.
They both hit, and tell me how you kill him.
As he teleports and runs, you see the mysterious figure stepping into high gear, moving as fast as he can, almost limping still at this point from his injuries. Just as he catches up, he extends his arm, his left arm, slices down his back, and then curves it back across horizontally, ready to strike again if he does not fall in front of him. But saying he falls, he stops where he is.
Well, he does. Combat has ended. And Ryan, I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw right now.
Don't kill me. 7.
7? All right. So, you've been exerting yourself for quite some time now. And in your last ditch of effort to expend the energy needed to catch up to this guy and finish him off. You can feel the arrow of light that has been pierced into your chest the entire time you've been fighting burn at your insides. And you are going to take 9 damage from that.
All right.
Combat is now over.
As this arrow burns into him, he drops both short swords into the dirt beside him and they disappear. He goes down to a knee, clutching at the arrow in his side or chest.
Yeah. You have run off chasing the other figure, right? And he's dead. I know that, but like you are away from us, correct?
Yeah, I'm 50 feet away from you.
Okay. So Illios gonna take notice of this, then run after you. Assuming I'm not blinded anymore.
You are not.
Okay.
Your vision might be a little hazy, but other than that.
Yeah. So Illios is gonna approach this figure and attempt to analyze what it is that's going on. Of course, coming and kneeling in front of him, kind of taking him with shoulders in his hands. I am here for you.
He looks up to you. Actually has to extend his head quite far because he was looking into the ground, and you're still quite taller than him, even on a knee. And as he does so, you can see the arrow kind of protrudes from his chest as he has some of his torso upwards. He is clutching it in his hand. If he would, just yank it out, I guess.
You can literally see it burning and like rending his flesh. Steam is pouring from it.
So Illios kind of in a simplistic fashion looks down at this almost ethereal shaft and kind of cocks his head, thinking about ramifications and how this could be different than something physical. As he does so, he places his left hand on this figure's shoulder. I will count to 3, friend. Are you ready?
He winces in pain and nods to you.
1, 2. As he pulls the arrow out, he imbues you with like at least 15 points of lay on hands.
Right.
Does that check out, Ryan?
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
You see the pain and betrayal in his eyes of you lying to him and pulling on 2 when he wasn't ready. But as you did so, he feels so much better. He doesn't know why. He knows he does. Thank you. Thank you, friend.
You are certainly welcome, but I believe that we are owed an introduction. Malvadrian!
While you were kind of messing with the mysterious lone figure off in the distance, Malvadrian was kind of poring over the bodies of the now deceased seekers, trying to divine their reason for being here. But at your beck and call, he kind of looks up and kind of gets to his feet and walks over to you guys.
And as you are, within audible, normal hearing distance, the Goliath figure in front of you kind of puts his hand over towards his chest. My name is Illigith, and this is my friend Malvadrian. Please, tell us who you are and perhaps why you were running from those...
Bastards.
yes.
That's a great word for them. And he goes to stand up to shake both of your hands. Mal first, who's already standing, to give Illigus a second to stand as well. I am Soren. I found out information they didn't want me to know. Information the Prophet didn't want me to know, or anybody to know, really. And so he sent...
Mal gets this big grin on his face, and he says, "Really?"
So he sent...
You know, I got a good feeling about you. Anybody who's chased down by secrets must be worth something.
Yes.
At least in my book.
And so he sent Cassius and these 3 seekers after me. I guess Cassius was hitting the shot into me, and he points to the hole in his torso where Illigus has just ripped out the arrow, and decided not to come himself and just leave me for dead with them 3. Thanks to you. He looks at you 2, and then he remembers the crossbow shot. You 3, I guess, and he looks behind him for Dolgrim.
Yeah, Dolgrim would at this point be running down. Raymond was told to stay on the other side of the hill, so he's there. But
thank God.
But yeah, Dolgrim is kind of sliding down the snowy hill, and reaches you, and it kind of places the crossbow on his back.
As he does this, he introduces himself again, saying his name and shaking Dolgrim's hand.
Dolgrim Mountain Breaker.
Quite a name for a dwarf. I like it. It's kind of at this. You notice that he has Soren has the bronze skin, matching those of the Celestials. And as you start to notice this, I hear you're Malvadrian, but I do not know your name yet. Looking up to you, the Lionheart.
I told you it was Illigith.
Did you?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I did. I said, my name is Illigith, and this is my friend Malvadrian.
How could you forget?
He was distracted by dwarf.
And kind of
Yeah.
with this just like exceedingly
Revelation.
warm and comforting smile of this large mountainous man in front of you, he says, in any case, a friend of Malvadrian is a friend of mine. It is a pleasure to meet you, Soren.
Likewise, big man. I've heard many things about the Lionheart.
And I like to imagine like a recap of like smash. I'll let you know, juxtaposed against like this massively warm smile. Got some epic music playing right now, by the way.
Need headphones so I can do the same. It is of no mistake that I appeared somewhat near you, your group. I need your help, and I think our missions are pretty similar at this point.
Well,
And I ask you, now that you had escaped, what was your plan? But I guess that answers that question. Our mission, hopefully same as yours, is to take down the Empire, prevent its tyranny from spreading. I noticed that you are, well, a Celestial. And I don't know if you would be, well, yeah, he kind of trails off awkwardly, scratching his head.
Yeah, seeing this. Oh, I see you've noticed, but I was 2 days away from getting my sweet wardrobe like theirs over there, and he kind of motions his head towards the Seekers. I found out stuff that they didn't want me to know, and I took him to my father, who's part of the High Council. I was scheduled to meet with them today, but when I got there, only he was there, him and Cassius, and his 3 friends here. As soon as I opened the door, they attacked, and I took off.
Illigith. I would like to imagine that Zone of Truth isn't something that Illigith just casts, but it kind of works in tangent with his insight. If I don't, it's been a long time since I cast a spell like this, so I'm gonna just make sure. But I believe that you get a charisma saving throw if you would like to.
Does he know that you? Do I know that you're doing this?
I'm just.
I think if you pass it, you're aware of it, right?
Right.
Something
it's
like that.
Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell's area for the first time or on its turn or starts there must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, a creature can't speak a deliberate lie, and you know whether the creature succeeds or fails on its saving throw. An affected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. So actually, you get this feeling like you just can't tell a lie.
Right.
That's literally it. Like, you get this weird feeling. I mean, not that you were,
Right.
but it's just like you just don't want to in front of Illigan.
He gets this feeling, and you know from your thing that he's not trying to fight.
Yeah.
This urge to lie or tell the truth.
Yeah.
I choose to fail the save.
Yeah, and I just to go ahead and throw this in here real quick. I feel that right as you're doing this, Illigith, Dolgrim would take one step back, and his eyes would be stern on the man in front of him, just for a second, and he'd look up at you, Illigith, like, "Are you sure we really can trust this guy? He's still celestial."
Dolgrim, I have a good feeling about him.
Yeah, so Dolgrim.
This is like. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Yeah. So Dolgrim, still, looking up at you. He sees your smile. He sees the confidence on your face, and he kind of looks down and sighs. And after bringing his head down, he comes back up with a smile on his face. He says, "All right. Still gonna keep an eye on you, though.
I'd
I
expect
trust Illigus' judgment." I'm sorry, Ryan. What did you say?
he was just saying I expect nothing less from you.
Damn right.
And kind of in this semi-awkward encounter, like, it's not like, but it's just a little bit uncomfortable. Everybody's a little bit, on edge, a teensy bit. I kind of imagine after Dolgrim says that, like, a small silence kind of stagnates for a little bit. And Malvadrian kind of looks at this guy, his attire, and kind of remembering how he fought. thinking back to other Seekers he fought. And he just kind of looks at the guy and he says, Are you sure that you're comfortable, fighting your countrymen? This is I live in. I don't know if I could do that for mine, so I have to ask.
He takes a deep breath, and back to what you were saying before. Our goal is the same: to stop the Empire. What you call the Empire, I call the High Council and the Prophet himself. Our reasonings are different. I want to save the people of Celestia, and you want to save the people around it.
He kind of nods for a second. When I first started this, he kind of looks at you and kind of smirks. Mission. My goal was to burn every village, every city, every person in that empire. And then he looks to Illios, but I've met people along the way. And he kind of smirks inwardly towards Minty. And I realize that your people are suffering too under this High Council. They have taken, I'm sure as the same with you, people dear to me. If you are willing, smiles. This is kind of ridiculous because just the situation asking a Celestial to join him is just not in Malvadrian's playbook ever. To help us take down these tyrants. Then I welcome you, and I'm glad to have you.
I thank you. What I was hoping here, but this is going a lot better than I thought it would. He kind of places a hand on your shoulder.
Yeah. Well, it did help that you were fighting the Seekers, which, I do tend to hate.
Right.
So, yeah.
Hate is such a strong word, Malvadrian.
I reserve it for those only deserving.
Speaking of those deserving, I hear you talking. Are the bad guys dead yet?
This is like 90 feet away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Forgot to mention, there's one more person in our posse. Illios, I don't really know how to introduce.
Illios, can I come up the hill?
Yes,
Yeah.
Raymond!
Finally.
Well, you'll get the idea pretty soon.
Look, it's Mommy Ryan.
Woohoo.
Molly presents him. Hey!
Turns off his camera.
That was awesome.
Hi.
Hey!
All right. So Raymond comes up over the hill. It's like, I mean, I can't carry all this stuff. It's very heavy, especially yours, Illios. I got mine and Miles.
Well, it would seem that duty once again calls. Yes. As Malvadrian said, you are welcome. See, Malvadrian? I knew we would make new friends.
I don't even know why I doubt you anymore.
As Illiga takes off towards upwards.
And we clap each other on the back.
Yeah. Up the hill to help Raymond out.
All right. And Dahlgrim, we kind of look up at Raymond, sigh. All right. Well, if he's joining our crew, then on we go. Still got about another 2.5 days, assuming it doesn't storm as we go up.
Rip.
That would be bad.
It can't be that bad.
Flashback to part 2. I mean, what? What do you mean flashback?
I mean, flash forward?
All right, yeah, flash forward. All right, that has been Illios campaign session 16. Friend or foe? Presumably friend. Part 1.
I vote friend.
I'm on the fence.